All right, today is September 13th. It is now 6:00 p.m. and I call the Community Development Corporation meeting to order. First item on our agenda is public participation. And looking at the crowd, I see no hands. So we'll move on to regular items. One is consider the approval of the August 10th, 2023 Bartonville Community Development Corporation regular meeting minutes.
I have reviewed them. I would make a motion that we approve.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, all approved? All
All approved.
in favor?
All in favor?
Wow. Okay, here we go.
Not the only ones.
No, it's the next day. I know, it has been crazy.
Yeah, it's not just me then, good. All right, second item on our regular items is consider and take action regarding a proposal for Christmas lighting at the corner of Farm to Market Road 407 and McMakin in the little corner we call Old Town in an amount not to exceed $11,300.
I have a question
I
on
thought
that.
this was at the church.
No, this is different. This is the corner that we
Okay.
pay to get done. I
Right.
have a question on that. And I don't know where the proper place to ask it is, but it feels like we're double dipping here on a tree. Well, we're paying $5,700 for a tree to be put in over there. We're gonna do a Christmas tree lighting. Is there anything we could do different than a tree over there, like a sleigh or something that wouldn't take away from?
Don't know, but we can certainly ask.
I can definitely ask. This came before this proposal was sent to us, and I was speaking with Randy earlier. And I was trying to see where this was approved by you guys, and I couldn't find anything. So I wanted to bring it before you because we saw the tree in here, and then we know that special events and you guys purchased a tree for Christmas. So I wanted to bring this forward to you guys with the cost, obviously, and see if you wanted to continue doing this or if you suggestions for
I
changing.
think we should do so. I think we did have a Christmas tree there.
Did we? It's
And it's really to decorate that
The
area
corner.
with lights. They put those wreaths around the horses
Yep.
and all that stuff.
Yes.
But I agree. Let's see if we can do something different.
Different than the Christmas.
I think so too. I'm just gonna throw this out there. So I don't know if we talked about storage because I wasn't here in the last meeting where we discussed this. But have we talked about storage, labor to set up, labor to tear down, those types of
the
things?
tree for the lighting.
Correct.
That, according to the videos I've watched and we purchased this, it looks like it can be done by town volunteers. It doesn't need, we've got a guy who, if we need, he'll bring us a lift, but it builds from the base up. So it's not like you're putting the top down.
Okay,
You
so it's
lift
one
it
of
as you
those.
go. Yeah. And it looks pretty simple now. We all know how that goes.
Right.
But initially, it looks okay and we have storage at the church. The
Okay.
church has agreed to store it.
Oh, good.
So,
Okay.
This is different from the.
this is
church
different,
tree.
yeah. This is different from that
Decorating
Christmas tree lighting. This is the corner. And I thought, and I guess I haven't paid enough attention. I didn't realize it was costing us $11,000.
Well, this surprises me because I thought it was half that.
Yeah, I did
It's
too.
mine last year, because I did go look.
Yeah,
at
we did spend
finance
less
software to
than
see how much she spent. So the increase, the Christmas tree for the special events and all that, we thought it was best to bring this forward to you
That's
guys.
the 11,300 is surprising to us as well.
Yes.
And, you know, first last year when I forgot my first budget here, we did consolidated cash and I started bringing the fund balances for y'all to see. This next cycle, Shannon and I are going to work on one thing that's missing when you have the budget set up like it is. If you don't have those detail sheets, we don't know exactly what has been spent. If we don't show it on a task list and there's any kind of turnover, you end up with something like this.
Yeah, this is a surprise.
It absolutely is. So we didn't want to, I know that corner has always been decorated, but we didn't want to sign off on something. And again, she said 9,000 last year. So apparently it's been increasing. And again, by not having those pieces broken out, y'all just ate it in the budget process, those increases.
I think we should get some quotes on that.
I do too. This seems high for what we.
Yeah.
get.
We're running out of time. I understand that, but is there something we could replace the tree with? Since we're gonna do a tree here, I feel like a double dipper. And is there anything?
Where's the tree go that you're talking about?
It's gonna go over at the church. We gotta find the
Okay.
exact location, but it'll be at the church for the town Christmas tree lighting.
Okay,
Terry is an elf. He doesn't aware of it yet, but he's gonna be an elf at the tree. So we're gonna enjoy that.
You think,
I
is
got
it too late by the next meeting?
visions in my head.
If we were worried about it being too late, if y'all wanted to perhaps consider an amount. And then create a committee or just one person, hey, I'm gonna work with Thad.
My guess is 6 to 7 grand sounds high compared to the, yeah. What we want to do.
And then we can go out and say, our budget is this and get, what can you do for us on this corner with this budget?
Exactly.
in
I
fl-
just- I didn't
We don't
feel
want a Christmas
comfortable.
tree. We know we don't want a Christmas tree. Here's our budget. What can you do for the town? And go to 3 or 4 people with that number and say, what can you do
Or
here?
a sleigh or something
I like that.
Christmassy over
Right.
there. But.
And you got the horses, with the horses there, Randy, that'd be perfect.
Yeah, and I liked the
I mean, sleigh would really be cool.
wreaths around the necks
The
and the
lighting
boxes and
wreaths.
stuff.
They had the wreaths and then they had like Christmas boxes and then the
Like,
tree
yeah,
was the
presents.
big thing though. It was like, I think it was 5,600.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what-
Comfortable.
That's too.
And that's renting it.
Yeah.
You just
Yeah.
bought one for 10, yes.
10,000.
Well, that's why I asked a question about labor, because keep in mind, any of these things require setup labor. They've got to make sure it's secure, that it's not going to fall over on somebody,
Right.
that it's powered up, that everything's safe and all that stuff. We have to make sure we do all those things to make sure that, we're including kind of an apples to apples from.
Right.
In favor of not having a tree if that's.
Because the labor is, well, I'll just give you an example. So corporate headquarters, I have a 25-foot tree in my lobby. I have wreaths around the main entrance. I have another small tree there. I have gifts under the tree there. I've got big gifts under the big tree. And then I've got another 2 buildings that each have a tree in each one of its, and I'm paying $12,000 a year. So what I just described is a pretty significant amount of decor for
Yes.
that, which I pulled out this year, by the way. But that's just an example of what it costs to rent and to set up the labor, all that kind
Right.
of stuff.
But we're paying half of that just for a tree over here, I mean.
But it's the tree, it's the gift boxes, it's the
Oh,
other.
you're getting the whole-
$6,000.
Yeah, but he's getting the whole mess for
12.
$12,000, yeah,
Yeah.
for 3 buildings.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I
Yeah.
think you're getting a better deal
Right,
than what we're paying $6,000 for just to rent the tree. For,
right,
I think
right,
How about
right.
Gary, you wanna
6?
make a motion for a different dollar amount?
I would like to make a motion that we set a cap on it of $6,500.
Okay,
Would it be acceptable for us to get a competitive quote from 3 people, from
yes.
3 companies?
You give us the number and we'll go up and get that.
so if you
Okay,
look at.
when you
the-
say number, you mean number for
The 6,500.
the 65, yeah,
So there's 2 ways to do it. I can go out and get 3 proposals. What do you want to do? It's easier when we know what the budget is to say, I've got 6,500.
Yeah.
Tell me how much you can give the town or the BCDC for this 6,500. Basically, the tree was almost 6,000. We could go back and just pull the tree out as a last resort and still have the wreaths and everything else. But I like the idea of
The
seeing if we
sleigh
can get a
idea. I think
sleigh.
that's a great idea.
Yeah,
With
this
horses
layer
there, that
changing it
really-
up a bit.
But
They may not have one, Randy, but I like the
No.
idea.
We can make it. Because we're looking at the tree, the 2 trees behind the monument signs are 2,300. The illuminated gift box are 26. The tree is $5,700. So if we remove 11,3 minus 57, my brain doesn't work that fast today. But what are we at? $6,000?
5,400.
So 6,500 enough. I
Yeah,
don't
they
feel.
have gone up.
It's more than enough. If you just did that, because 11,1 minus 5,700 is
I
5,400.
would say that we do need to move forward with some kind of cost because we are getting late and
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've already had the calls this week for the person that usually likes town hall. They want to get us on the books now because they're gonna be out before Halloween to put the lights up because
Do they do it as well? Do they do?
I-
boiler?
I'm
We would
more than happy to
absolutely,
reach out to them as well.
absolutely.
So yeah, if we go in at 6,500, if we take the 11,3 and subtract out the 57, we're at 5,500. So if we go to another 1,000, can somebody put a sleigh out there to rent or something? You
Right.
know,
So I have a motion.
I'll second the motion to go to $6,500 budget.
And 3 bids,
In 3 bids.
3 bids. Let's get it competitive so we know.
I know, it's-
As a city, we always get at least 3.
Yeah, you don't even have to put in the motion. We will get 3.
and I think it's interesting. They came back this year. You said we had 9,000 last year. They came back this year, $2,000 increase without a justification. I mean,
Justification for the
Yeah.
increase. More than
So-
just, yeah.
So what happens if they go out and get 3 bids and to make it look decent, we're at $8,000? then what? Do we have to say, no, we're gonna stick at 65, or do we have the ability to
We have
say,
the ability to change it.
okay,
We just
Yeah.
make another motion to increase that budget.
And
Okay.
I will definitely let you know if we have to, maybe even have a special meeting if we need to, based on the timing of the year and trying to make sure.
Make
that
sure we
it
don't
gets
miss it.
Secure.
I think we should do that because that tree's got a lot of interest during the holidays.
Oh, absolutely.
I've
We
seen
just
it.
didn't feel comfortable
Pictures out there.
saying yes on
I'm
your
glad
behalf.
you, I'm
without
glad you didn't.
bringing it
Yeah.
in.
I agree.
I was surprised, so.
All right, so we have a motion and a second. All in favor? That's unanimous. All right. Update on BCDC business survey contact requests. That's where we're supposed to be contacting businesses and we have been failing. And I said I would send out the list again and I did not,
So
so.
I've actually got the list and I can send it out to the group. Well, I can't send it to the group. I can send it to you and you can send it. It's actually in our notes.
Yeah, it is.
It's included.
And I've reached out to a couple people and got no response back. So I don't have my names in front of me right now, but I know Brenda was one.
Well, it's because your name's on
Yeah,
it.
that's very possible.
Yeah. But Dwayne's name on it, it's okay.
You and I have one we need to do together, so I'll
Sure.
agree with you and figure out when we can go do it or call or whatever we want to do. But I do have an update on one of our businesses. I did reach out to several of them. One of which I have not gotten a response. Actually, I got turned to a manager who in turn was supposed to call me back with a scheduled time and we haven't done that yet. So as soon as I get that one's set for 7-Eleven. So I'm having some difficulty scheduling around their work schedule, which I get. They're 24/7 operation. But I did have a lengthy discussion with Averin at F45, which is the a workout center over here. It's more of a hardcore gym, not your average Gold's Gym or anything like that. His concerns really were around location, visibility to those around this market. So I asked him specific questions about, are you trying to attract people from Argyle and beyond? Or are you looking for just this area? He said, my focus is this area because they just opened one on the other side of Argyle. So it's a franchise. And obviously people want to go to the closest franchise. He also said 20-minute within 20-minute drive is what he's looking for, because the statistics show that people don't want to drive more than 20 minutes to go do a workout and come back home and get changed and dressed for the day. He also made a recommendation, which I really like this, and I haven't really quite figured out why we haven't been able to do it yet, but he suggested, because they are in the Kroger Lantana Center, which is obviously managed by the Quest Group, that we have a community event in that parking lot that is for all businesses that are there, not just Kroger, not just, but all the businesses they can participate in. They would include bounce houses, maybe something during the fall. He said, I'll provide volunteers. I'm sure other businesses would volunteer to man the stations and do things. We could do it when weather is a little more temperate. We could get people out. He mentioned the Lantana community has something on the green. He mentioned that they do annually, and it's kind of a deal they do out on the golf course. So he was kind of suggesting that if we had something at the Kroger Center and it was a coordinated effort amongst us and NewQuest, that it would definitely be something that would be advantageous to him, and let people know that he's there. Let him shake their hand and say, hey, we're here. This is what we do, and kind of draw some interest there. And it would be kind of a family friendly, all people invited to this type of event, obviously with the bounce houses and some of the other things that have been suggested. He obviously said, anything could be possible in that parking lot. It's a big parking lot. If it was cordoned off in such a way that we could do it, obviously with the approval of NewQuest, we could do something there. He said that would be helpful. He said, we have the tree lighting that goes on down in town center, or the town center is put on by NewQuest. They have the little fishing deal that they set up for a few years there. I don't know if they're still doing that, but he said everything seems to be in town center, not in the Kroger Center. And that's where his business is located, and that's where he wants the visibility. So it's kind of a marketing, maybe a think tank for us to kind of think about what an event could look like in that parking lot.
Could we get, so what we've run into before, because there's something weird about, I don't know how it is, but for example, they won't let Kroger put up tents.
Kroger owns the center chunk and New Quest owns the wings.
But when.
So I'm not sure, but go ahead.
But when Kroger put up the tents for, I think it's Valentine's Day, they put up. Lantana had something in there that made them take that down and they can't put those up. So I don't know how Lantana controls it, but there's some.
Basically an HOA, they have a business HOA over our Kroger Center and all of that. I'll talk to
Lantana
Kevin.
does?
Lantana, yeah, well, the Freshwater District 1.
Yeah.
Not Lantana, that group, but the group.
The freshwater district one. and two.
Kevin Mercer, that group.
Yeah, because I think it's a great
Because they
idea.
approve all our building permits over there. They don't, we don't.
Yeah,
Okay,
So let me see what I can find out, because I think there is something weird. I think I may have told y'all before, though, as y'all build out your commercial areas, these are the types of things that those businesses will want. Because in Haslett, we had all these service businesses and small retailers. And every time we did a movie in the park or anything like that, they're like, man, those are the things we love. It brings all the people from here, it would be Lantana, and Haslett, it was Sendera Ranch, brings them all over. They realize what businesses are there. They shake hands. They're like, oh, I've got a workout place this close. So I agree that we need to split that effort between our two major retail centers, perhaps on doing events.
that's something.
That's a big deal.
Is that
That,
something?
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Terry.
That I think delving into this, because it seems like we've approached this before and we always got either hard nose or basically soft nose, leave us alone. Yeah, and so I don't know what or who makes those decisions, but if you can find that out.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different people involved. Now, I know Tammy was saying there was new people on the New Quest side. So,
New Quest, definitely on the town center side. Y'all, Randy, you experienced that, I think, didn't you? The discussions were very different,
Yes.
than previously, than they had been previously. So I don't know about New Quest. We've had some.
yeah, but you're new.
I am. I'm not afraid to talk to anybody.
Here's,
Right.
I think that'd be outstanding.
it was a very
If you could
cold
see if you can wind your way through there and figure out who is a decision maker, and because we have not been able to get any kind of a positive at all.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would.
would we be better off approaching New Quest to have them work with us to put something on for the center?
My first call is gonna be Kevin Mercer. If they've got some kind of restriction that's stopping everything, then I need to get through Kevin Mercer. And then I would go to New Quest.
And he's the water district.
Yep. So that's my first question.
That's a strange setup. The way they-
It- Don't get me started, please.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's a whole different agenda item. The
Good.
overlaying districts and things in Denton County is so.
Yeah,
He tried once. I didn't follow.
I don't
the-
understand.
he even mentioned the event, the crawfish deal that Kroger did last month, I believe, where they were doing cooked to order crawfish.
chili.
Hatch chili.
At Kroger?
Yeah, they did crawfish.
roasting. They were roasting. They
Outside?
They do chilies, but they also did crawfish from what I understood. He mentioned that. So these are special events that he thought could be incorporated into a event that included Kroger. So Kroger's doing their, figure out what their schedule is for their.
Expand it to something bigger perhaps.
Absolutely. So that it gives everybody an opportunity to play in that field and the proverbial concrete jungle. But it does give everybody a chance to participate in the event, including all of the tenants in the space. So whether it be the people in the nail salon, whether it be, this F45 gym or, the Chinese restaurant, or just any of them they can do taste testings, they can do all kinds of stuff with the community involved.
If you get your tunnel vision when you go in this shopping center, you go straight to where you're going and you don't pay attention.
Absolutely. You get tunnel vision. You don't
I didn't
realize.
even know who you were talking about when you said F45. I think of a race car when I think of
Right.
F40s.
Yeah.
Nail salon.
Yeah, next door to the nail salon. And like I said, it's a hardcore gym. It's not your average gym, but they do attract people that are either really trying to get fit, or people that are trying to recover from injuries and stuff. So and one of the other things that he mentioned is we haven't been able to keep up with the times in terms of cost increases, because there's this whole thing out there that people are saying that we're experiencing inflation. Well, he says, we're experiencing inflation in terms of rent. Our rent's going up, but we can't necessarily continue to push. The market won't bear us to raise our rates to our customers that are coming in. So it's really a fine line we're dancing now, where we used to like to contribute to sports, events and things that go on with the school districts and all those types of things. He says now we have to do it if it's at low or no cost, because we just don't have the money to invest in backing any teams or anything. So I think that's something that, we could also take a look at. Might be, how do we involve in the community part of BCDC? How do we contribute to any of these events, these sports related events that are in our community, where we might be able to help our school districts through special events or donations, or accepting donations from the community for a specific purpose. So if a school district needs something in their outdoor facilities, they need bleachers or they need something, how can we help them? Even if it's a temporary roll-ups that they could purchase, how could we help them get what they need? Because what I keep hearing is school districts are in need in certain areas, especially with Robin Hood and everything that goes on within our school districts. Some have and some do not. So it would be maybe something to tie into that as well. I don't know what all the answers are. I'm throwing out a couple of ideas.
Of this group.
Yep.
Because y'all cannot spend under very few circumstances can you spend BCDC money outside the corporate limits.
Yep.
And we don't have any of those facilities here. So,
Right.
but it is, it's a valid point. It's just that may end up being an offshoot when you talk about the community side. How can y'all maybe as a group outreach and do better there?
If it increases the businesses visibility, awareness of those visibilities, increases their flow of traffic throughout the space to say, we're doing this for donations to a charity, for example, we might be able to fund bounce houses or do some other things that may be lower cost, but still allow people to contribute or to donate to those causes.
They could apply for a grant because when they sponsor a sports team, that's advertising costs.
Correct.
That's what they put in, so they could apply for a grant for that, and we could help them with that.
Are you talking about like putting a banner on a fence or something at a high school game?
Sometimes they're
Like even like little league, soccer games, football, baseball.
jerseys, those kinds
Yeah.
of things when they sponsor a
And
team.
the school district pays for their jerseys.
I really want to
You
be
can-
careful
you can
about
actually
this,
support
Ben.
the-
I'm taking notes. We'll run it by Jeff more.
Yeah,
to
because
make sure
this,
y'all-
I think we've been turned down on these kind of things before, so we
It
ought
can be
to,
tricky.
yeah.
Y'all,
We
you also know.
don't necessarily sponsor, they sponsor.
Right.
However,
You've offset
let's
another cost.
just throw some ideas out there. Even if it's a no, I'm used to no's. I mean, it's just like, you get no's in corporate world, you get yeses.
It's
Sometimes you get a
little
big win.
It's,
You don't ask, then you're always.
you don't know.
Well, so I guess what the first steps would be if you would check with Kevin or if one of us needs to call Kevin
I'll
or
call
get
Kevin.
the document, there's got to be some document that outlines.
They have to
What
have
a candy
it.
can't do.
They have this BOA, they have to have it documented somewhere. Good luck.
Yeah,
And then
Kevin and I get along, okay? Then I'll call Kevin again. It starts with Kevin. From there, we go to New Quest and then we go to Kroger.
somebody that works with me is a good friend of his. I don't remember who it is, but anyway. But I think what I found out is if we could do it, it's gonna take somebody to take the reins on that over there, because I think they'd all be willing to do it, but none of them are gonna take the reins on it and run with it. It'd have to be one of us to say, we're wanting to do this as a support of the business.
Support of the
But
businesses.
somebody from us would have to
Yeah.
gather somebody over there, F-45 or whoever, and say, are you guys in? Let's go talk to these people. Because nobody wants to run with it. That's the problem.
Well, we've met with our businesses and we can go in with that attitude that we've met with the businesses in our community collectively, and they have said they want to see more visibility placed on this center. What can we do together to make this happen? I mean, Kroger was extremely outreaching before they moved into the community with having an event here right in the property next door when it was vacant. So they came out and did an event with us and they had food there. I mean, it was
Hot
just
dogs,
light
Cokes,
stuff.
whatever,
Yeah,
yeah.
Cokes, whatever they had off of their shelves, basically. Just to say welcome, we're thanks for the warm welcome. We're here in your community now. here's some applications for those who want jobs. They kind of did a job fair, and provided free food for our community. Anybody who wanted to stop and talk to them and say hi and all that kind
That
of stuff.
attitude's changed a little bit.
Has it though?
It has.
Or in a bad way? Are we
Less
perceived-
giving, no, less giving. We've asked them for donations for like last year when we had the picnic.
Oh, the picnic.
And then this year, we're trying to get $25 worth of cupcakes. And they've got, now we gotta run it through corporate. This can't, we
Oh,
can't,
it's
we
a
gotta run it
different
through corporate.
process.
So we have approached them. We approached them last year and I think they gave us cups and plates, which was very nice. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying
Yeah.
they didn't offer any, as much as the
So you just have like
residents.
chips and
Yeah, there was nothing.
other
else.
types of
Kroger's in
items.
process of buying Albertsons,
Yeah.
Yeah,
so there's a.
So anyway, I'm not saying
Chaos.
let's not approach them. I'm just saying, when they first came, you're right. They were, man, we're here to help you. But, and also I've gotten calls a number of times from Chase that wants to participate somehow with the town. So we got them, they would be willing to do so. So, and they can help financially, he said.
financially and maybe
See
provide some volunteer.
Yeah.
too.
The
Yeah,
BOA
sure they
rules are. And then we can go to Quest. And then we can start working on something for next year, maybe.
I think that in the past, that she was going to Quest and that's where it stopped. I don't think she ever went to the water district. So you might be on track with trying to figure out what the real issue is.
I think we get key
Talk to
stake,
enough people, you'll find out what the real
Yeah.
issue.
Yeah,
is.
what the real issue is.
if we get key stakeholders like Kroger, some of the bigger companies involved. I think we're gonna be the bank, other people, other organizations that can actually help us provide that. Here are some names of people that we've talked to that would be willing to support this, especially Kroger. It's specifically for their benefit. I mean, it's right in their parking lot.
It's a
you
great
know?
idea. I mean, if we can get everybody to buy in, it's a great idea.
Mhm.
And I think it would be very beneficial. You include, I don't know about across the street, but
It may be to the point where, since they have basically a lock on everything. Until they get some real competition, which we know is coming, who knows how they're
they
thinking.
said HEB is going in on the northwest corner of the northeast corner of 407 and 35W.
Well, I heard that they were trying, that they had surveys out. That they had talked to Walmart.
Oh, it's
People
Walmart.
wanted- people-
Yes.
but
Yeah.
Walmart hasn't bought it.
No, but Walmart approached my buddy to buy, he had the corner of 1171 and 35W, the west corner. They approached him recently and he didn't sell.
Yeah. they
HEB
haven't
leads
bought
with
that.
land
Yeah.
and they do it 25 years or 20 years in advance.
But we're gonna have
Pretty well.
competition. I don't want that to turn into a Dollar General.
Right.
No,
You know,
we
So
don't.
let's
We
don't.
do what we can to help Kroger and whoever out over there.
I'm all for that, 'cause otherwise-
Trader Joe's.
Yeah.
And it's several items that could be even on the agenda for them might be, they may want to do a job fair or, hand out applications. Because if you've been in that store, you know what I'm talking about. They're continuously having a rotation. And some of those folks try really hard, but they're just one of a few that are operating that store. So they could really use probably a bump, and that would help them get all the community in on a specific day. Hey, look, they're hiring over there. Kind of give that son or daughter a nudge to go fill out an application and get on board.
And we've gotten a different feedback from Bartonville Town Center than we ever did in the past. We were just stonewalled down there in the past.
Absolutely.
And that's a different world now. I think they're a little bit irritated. with us.
So David Hunt must not be there anymore.
I don't know if he is or not, but I think they're a little irritated. We're not doing the Christmas tree lighting, but they're the ones who pushed back on us. So we went elsewhere and now they're like, wait a minute, we're ready to do something. Well, no, that's not what you said. We're not paying for anything. So anyway,
But that's some of the key feedback that I got from the business. No problem hiring. They can hire the type of talent they need to run, their programs there at the gym. They don't have any problem with services, getting, people to clean or do any of the, I just asked general questions. Do you have any problem with your operation or anything like that? Do you have any improvements coming? We have some improvements coming, but some things are going to have to be, we're going to have to review that before we make a capital investment on improvements inside the building. And that's another question that kind of came up in my head was, as I'm having a discussion, we've made investments on exterior of buildings. We've done signage. We've done grants that were for patios and those types of things. How about those businesses that don't have patios and never will have patios, or exterior facade things that would improve their business? Does it have to be outside or can it be inside?
No, it can be inside.
Okay, so
Tim.
Yeah.
we did the electrical, but it was for the exterior lighting. That's why I was saying,
Yeah, we're
it
not-
seems like everything seemed to be tied to exterior.
It just feels like
Improvements.
we as a committee could do more for the town. than we
Agreed,
have.
agreed.
And that's, I've been here as long as, and I've done not much, so.
Yeah, you do.
Well, all right, I'm the lantern.
For everybody except your wife.
What?
I said for everybody except your wife.
Yeah, well, she'll admit to that, and I'm with you on that.
I know she's joking with you, brother. That's why I said it. But anyway, that's it for that. That's that business update. Like I said, I'm looking forward to getting with the 7-Eleven group and finding out theirs. I mean, I see a lot of stuff as I enter that store, such as a greasy, dirty parking lot, and some other things that are kind of operational issues that I think I would solve if I was a business owner. Clean glass, clean doors, all those kinds of things, but I'm trying to find a way that we could assist with some of those things. Yeah, it's what we do.
I
Yeah.
Geez, they haven't even been robbed in a year.
Yeah.
What's that?
They haven't even been robbed in a year.
Yeah, that was right after I first got here. I was like,
Yeah.
what did I come into?
Yeah, and a lot of businesses are, and I'm one of them, where we're doing power washing at night with some of our like porter staff or whatever, instead of hiring an outside cleaning service to come out and professionally clean your windows and your parking lots. But companies like that don't want to run that risk of having somebody get robbed because they're outside power washing instead of being inside at the register. So could we do a coordinated police watch? Have a police officer maybe stationed around that area, running traffic and doing whatever, and keeping an eye on the store while that person's out there doing power washing stuff. It could be an operational,
Close patrol for
Yeah.
that moment.
Right.
yeah, for that hour, 2 hours or whatever it is, they need to go out there and do some, to do some scrubbing of the parking lot and degreasing and stuff. Because they get a lot of traffic from the contractors and everybody else, and the parking lot shows it, there's a lot of oil, and it's no different than any other, convenience store across Dallas. You go in the parking lot, and go, I don't want to step on that piece of gum. Well, do I step on that, or do I step in that milkshake somebody just dumped out on the ground? It's just nasty. So,
Yeah.
and it hasn't rained in a long time, so none of that, we haven't seen Mother Nature wash all that off. But those are some of the things I observed there. And like I said, I look forward to the discussion with them to figure out what their challenges are in terms of.
Good info.
Yes, thank you.
Great.
You bet.
Do we have any new discussion on development activity, new businesses?
Y'all see the survey stakes.
saw
up
the
for
survey
Burger
stakes.
Finally. The Rounders Pizza and what's the burger?
Oh, that one over there?
One that's a combined over
Yeah,
in the
not
center right
Fatburger,
across from Kroger. Their
Whataburger's a no-go.
No,
No, it is.
survey stakes are out.
That's what he's talking about.
Yes,
Okay.
it is
There's
happening.
another place that's a burger and pizza.
yeah, it's in the strip
Oh.
center.
Over where the.
Is it open?
liquor store
No,
is.
they're still doing the finish out.
Oh,
Across
okay.
the street, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
By
yeah.
the well, isn't there
Where
Wells?
Wells Fargo's on.
Yeah,
the-
Wells Fargo's on.
Yeah, Wells Fargo.
But it's by the Dutch Bros back in there.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
that's
hard
exactly
to
what you're
get
talking
to.
about. I heard swinging hammers
Unless
over
you're
there one
coming
day,
from,
Yeah.
from the east.
and I saw the porta can in the back, so they've obviously got construction
Yeah.
started or underway. So what's it gonna be? Burgers and what?
Something burger.
Burgers and pizza. And I
Burger
can't remember the name.
Burger
pizza.
and
It's a, there's a name on it. I can't remember what. We'll get revenue for that? Sales tax revenue?
Part-
There will be some.
partial.
It'll be
Not
minimal
full.
on that. Whataburger's outside the scope of the agreement.
Yep. Have you got agreement on that? Or I hope we've got agreement on that.
We've told them it's outside and we haven't heard back, so. I'm not.
They're probably gonna claim that other end, but that's okay, I think.
We need that.
'Cause it's- Yeah.
Mhm.
We need
Yeah,
that.
the rounders and that stuff is in the center, but the water, it basically stops at Breaks Plus. If you look at the agreement,
Yep.
Breaks Plus is the last one in the area that they've outlined. And so we've gone forward with notification that Whataburger is not
Good,
included.
good, good,
And we did
great.
notify them, we just never heard back, and so. they won't get it.
Notification's everything. You've already
That's right.
planted it. We notified you a year ago.
They'll find out when the smell of the burgers comes in. What they're doing.
Yeah,
Does anyone have any future items they would like included for next month's agenda?
Yeah, I think there's a couple things. One, I'm assuming we're gonna do the traffic surveys again. We typically do that in October.
Yes, we have that scheduled through our town engineer to get that scheduled so that we get the results back, and we'll bring those to you as soon as we get those results. So it's supposed to schedule and start on October 1 based on your budget, because you've already had it in your budget.
Okay, fantastic, because we typically try to make it close to a year
Yes.
as we can. The second thing is, I talked to Marty today. He was going to bring forward that roof over the whole outside piece, but he had kind of a surprise.
Fire suppression.
Fire suppression.
Bond today.
So he said
Bond
he's got all kinds of additional costs that they've thrown at him. So he'll bring you something next week, he said.
Maybe. I have to email him a packet before I leave today. I talked to him twice.
Okay, super.
Yeah,
Thank you.
but we're on the same page.
Thank you.
The hope is he will have all of that in time for it to be on his next agenda.
I told him you need to make the October agenda,
Yes,
because,
once you get into the holidays.
yeah, things just
Change.
the other thing that I've been thinking about is Randy and I always have this argument with a bunch of people who don't have the faintest clue how much sales tax is actually providing to the town budget. And that's the overarching part. The second part of that is that they don't have a clue who's actually providing the real dollars. Now, we know it's a Kroger Center in Marty, but I was trying to figure out one, is there an easy way to explain rather than this is the gross, this is the net, this takes out this, is there an easy way to say we're actually getting X dollars from sales tax?
And can we do that? Is that public information where we could say,
Now, not per entity, absolutely not.
Yeah,
That is
yeah,
a
right.
Confidential report that I
Exactly.
can get a hold of, but I cannot share, because that competition can know down to the dollar what you do.
Well, exactly right.
In your.
but you could say the businesses in our town present X amount towards the town's budget.
That's in our, that's in our budget right now.
Yeah,
Number that I've projected.
Numbers and percentages and something.
Well, does that include the alcohol tax?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sales tax and alcohol, we combine those.
So you lump those together?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
We do.
Okay.
but we can't,
But absolutely, I can give you an aggregate on what is generated for the street maintenance, BCDC. I can separate them out plus the town general fund.
Well, that would be great, because part of what people don't understand is that how much sales tax actually pays for this in this little old city. Yeah.
We're gonna put signs up on the Jeter Road project, and I was approving the sign today. Because you always put a sign up for number to call, and it's going to say funded in part by your street maintenance sales tax. So that people, as they drive through there, realize that the street maintenance sales tax is doing that.
Have a
So,
value on there?
you know, well, that's not a bad idea, because we always.
Put a value, I've
put the
seen that.
900 I think it was 995,000 or something like that.
Funded by your tax dollars.
I'll tell you what was interesting is the mayor did her article in the Cross Timbers Gazette. Very nicely done, breakdown and very transparent. It was pretty neat. I read it, understood it, not the brightest guy, understood it. It could pick out, what was going on and it was just pretty neat article that she did on there, helpful. So it's in Cross Timbers Gazette, but my fear is if we have let's say Marty, God forbid Marty's catches on fire or Kroger's gets hit by a tornado, we lose a substantial portion of our revenues for for months. And that's Kroger's got hit a few years ago. Remember that when the hailstorm took out the skylights and
Well, the frustration to me is that unfortunately, we have been looking behind us instead of looking 10 years ahead of us. And if we looked ahead 10 years, we're going to need a lot more money coming from.
and that's
sales tax.
we have a new council that may be more willing than the old was, and I think that's a council issue that we have to get in front of them with and present. But yeah, you and I have gone through this for years,
Yeah.
and that's my fear is that we lose one of our two big producers somehow, and then we don't have that third. So that's a council issue for
Well, as we know, things go in and out of favor. I mean, that's why you have to have.
Yeah.
Distribution and lots of things rather than depending on one thing.
No,
We're dependent on two things in this town.
Yeah.
And Marty is a big, particularly the alcohol tax. Yeah. Yeah.
He's done a nice job.
Oh, by the way, all those rocks they dumped in mine.
Yeah. Your ditch.
Yeah, I'm gonna take them over to your place because I think you need them.
Oh, you bring them right over. I
They
could.
better be gone.
I didn't look today.
They better be gone. We had somebody hand shovel that stuff out of there.
Oh,
Please tell me if there's still rocks.
I'll look, 'cause
They were all netted up, weren't they?
Yeah, they're all.
not in my bird.
Oh, no, you're-
No,
They just dumped a truck.
Well,
it was a misdump of the
This was
base.
today?
That's the, no, this was last week.
Where they're doing the road work.
Oh, okay.
They dumped, basically, they misdumped on the location on Jeter, the base. So it was smaller rocks. It wasn't the big check dams, rock check dams. It was something else. And then you can see where they ran the skid steer to fix it all up.
But it looks kind of nice. I mean, it helped.
Well, I thought you'd like it, so that's why I was gonna bring it up.
I called the contractor and I said, this bar ditch, he has to mow it.
Exactly.
You can't have, you can't do this. I need to go get the rest of it up with a shovel and make sure you smooth that out, because he's got, I'm gonna have to write him a notice when he doesn't maintain his bar ditch because he's poured rock in it. I said, I really don't like this kind of.
Thank you. I
situations.
appreciate that, because it didn't look like it was gonna mow very well.
No, I wouldn't want to drive by you when you were.
No, you wouldn't.
Wayne,
All right,
this
well,
Tesla
there's
thing
no
with the
other-
windshield.
If there's no other future items, we will close this meeting at 6:42 PM. And thanks everybody.
Thank you, Dad. I appreciate it.
You got you, Shannon, you and Thad have
Thank you,
done a
Jared.
great job with this, just the information. Easy to read.
But the council, and I'll tell